Hey there. It's Monday. It's Deprogrammed. It's Justin. It is 10:49 in the AM when I record this. So depending on when you pick up this specific episode, life happens, man. Normally I would record these on at least Sunday. I ended up having a gig. It was midday, which was awesome for doing things before and after. But it really shook up my availability to do this. So what can you do? Here I am. I mean, it's also literally the only downside to being so far ahead is I haven't thought about Monday episodes because they're what's happening this week on the show. So I'll try to do better. So one thing we did not do last week that we're hoping to get done this week is recording our episode on Sloan. Day of came, and if I'm honest, my mental has not been, I don't want to say not great, just full. Like, I've been going really hard at trying to get these dailies, going really hard at trying to get as many regular episodes done. So we ended up pushing it back a week, and in all honesty, it worked out great because I was able to get a couple first passes done that I've been, really just taking my time on. I made some cuts for Proto-Martyr, something else. I unfortunately can't remember, but I did make my first passes. I finished my first pass on American Steel finally, and I finished my first pass on Frank Turner. So that said, those cuts for American Steel, the Struts, and Frank Turner are coming up because hopefully next week we're recording Frank Turner and the Struts. More on that on Monday. That said, what is coming up on the show this week? As I said, hopefully we're recording on Friday for Sloan. That isn't inked yet. That's just where it's penciled in at currently. I already said I'm doing the cuts for American Steel, cuts for the Struts, cuts for Frank Turner. I'm hoping to start my first passes on Jack White, Dikembe, and Swell Maps, and possibly finally Kishibashi. Oh, that's right. I finished my No Effects first pass and cuts over the weekend. So hopefully we'll be getting No Effects on the docket as we go. As we go forward, the hope for August is, or the plan for August is, I'm not going to record anything that isn't already where No Effects is. If I'm already done, if I've already got my 20, then I will record it. I don't plan on starting anything new, and for sure, I'm not going to do any new listening. I'm going to try to keep it to finishing cuts and recording episodes that are already there. Because I'm not pressed, which is great. I'm just not pressed to get things in the can, because we're into October already, which is great. I keep sidetracking myself. So that's the playlist diving for this week, and the hopeful episode being recorded on Thursday. Our episode is on David Gray. This was a great time. My friend Jenny came over, and it was Jenny, my wife, and I talking about David Gray, and it's a great conversation. As always, the playlist part is always up in the air. You never know how it's going to go. But it was great to finally dive in on David Gray past White Ladder. That was the album I knew going in, so it was great to finally give some shine to the rest of his records. And funnily enough, when we recorded this, while we were planning, he came out with another record. I think I may have mentioned it on the show. So David Gray episode coming on Thursday. Tomorrow, Andrew's Perfect 10 is coming out. We recorded that a couple weeks ago. So these Perfect 10 things are going really well. As a matter of fact, hopefully recording one tonight with Gavin. As I record this, I just got to confirm with him. He said he was free. We just have to set a time. Something new coming on Wednesday. I'm calling it Please Meet. And Creech from the band Rebelmatic in New York. So Rebelmatic is coming to Hampton to do a show in September. And so Eric from Bohemian Amigos record shop put me in touch with Creech. And so Creech and I, it was meant to be like an interview, and it ends up more of a conversation. I kind of wanted to do it almost like a one-off where we're just talking about their new record, but the conversation just ends up being just a conversation. I mean, it's Creech is a good dude, and I think you guys are going to dig that, and hopefully you go listen to the record. I like Rebelmatic a lot, and if you are local and listening to this, then check out that episode and then go see Rebelmatic in September. So, like I said, I branded it as Please Meet Rebelmatic. I might be doing more of those for YMS for local bands, and if I can bring in, national bands at that level to Deprogrammed, if you guys are interested in that, then I can try to continue doing that. On Saturday, we have Christian's Top 5 Concerts. Again, something we recorded a couple weeks ago, and I've really hated and loved the puzzle pieces of this. Like, it's all coming out like in crazy orders of when we recorded them. So I don't think we did too many timestamps. But I did try to be sure that we recorded Christian's Top 5 Concerts before his Perfect 10, just so at least those would be chronological when they come out. But I think saying that, we did the exact opposite, because something else Andrew recorded is coming out next week. So anyway, but yes, that's the week. As I said, Sloan hopefully getting recorded this week, if not one of the other ones, and I'm going to try to do a couple more cuts, and David Gray is our episode on Thursday. So that is our week on Deprogrammed.